All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Average Joe's. On this episode, we're going to cover another kit beer. We're going to do an Irish Red Ale. And spoiler alert, it turns out pretty darn good. So come with me, we'll take you through step by step. We're going to do a little bit different process than we've done before. So check it out. Cheers. Okay, like we talked about on this episode, we're going to do an Irish Red Ale, which is super simple. It's basically, again, the kit's coming from Northern Brewer, comes with everything you need. You get 6 pounds of gold malt extract, which I've used some to get my yeast started. Comes with all the grains you need. It's an Irish Red Ale blend, and it comes with your 2 ounces of hops. Your grain bag does not come with the yeast. The yeast you buy separate, but that's the Safe Ale US-05, and that is getting ready to go. We're going to use our traditional, older, less fancy method, the old stovetop, the giant pot, and a thermometer. So what we're going to do first is we're going to put our grains, grain bag, and steep for 20 minutes at 150 degrees. So we're going to take the temperature, make sure it's right at 150 to 152, which it is. And we're going to drop the grain bag in. Start the timer, 20 minutes. Okay, so 20 minutes in, 150 to 152, we're going to pull the grain bag out. See that we got good, nice dark color to start with. We're going to dilute this later on, so it's going to start dark and then kind of lighten up. So grain bag out. All right, and then we're going to turn this thing up to a boil, and we're going to add our malt and hops. All right, it's smelling really good, but we're at the point now that it's boiling. We're going to add our gold malt extract, 6 pounds. And the first hop addition, which is 1 ounce of the Willamette. So these are the dried hop pellets that come with the kit. And then we start the timer and go for 60 minutes. Okay, 15 minutes left in the boil. There's 2 things we're going to do. One, we're going to add our last 1 ounce hop addition of the U.S. Kent Goldings. Boom. And now we're going to put in our wort chiller. Give it 15 minutes to sanitize. So it'll sit in there until the end of the boil in about 15 more minutes. Okay, so 60 minutes is up. We're done boiling. Now we've got to get this thing to 76-ish degrees as quickly as we possibly can. So we're going to take it off the burner, run some ice cold water through the wort chiller, and see if we can get that temperature down as quickly as possible. So we've got the chiller hooked up to the sink. We're running ice cold water through it, and we've got steamy hot water coming out the other side. It's going to take about 10 or 15 minutes to get this cooled down. We've got 3 gallons of ice cold water in the fridge that we'll add to this, and that should take it the rest of the way. Then we'll pitch the yeast. We've got this cooled down. It's about 85 degrees, somewhere in that range, 85, 90 degrees. The water out of the fridge is coming in around 50 degrees. So if we put the 2 together, we should be at the right temperature to pitch the yeast. So I'm going to go ahead and take the wort chiller out. And I'm going to dump the wort into the ice cold water. So ideally you want to leave a lot of the gunk in the bottom. You don't want to put that in your primary fermenter. You're going to get some in there, but we'll filter that out when we go to secondary fermentation. So now we're going to mix this up, and then we're going to take a initial gravity. Now we're going to grab a sample of this, and we're going to take a gravity. Remember, sanitize all of your equipment at this point. So we're coming right in at a 1.040, which is a great place to start to get about a 5% ABV on the finished product. Okay, so now that we got the right temperature, we got the gravity where we want it to be, we're going to go ahead and pitch the yeast, which means we're going to dump in the yeast that we've been priming. It's doing really well. Give it a good stir, put the lid on, airlock, and let it go. Whip some air in there. Lid on. Airlock. We're ready to go. All right, it's been almost 3 weeks. The foam cap has gone down. It has stopped bubbling as fast. We're going to go ahead and transfer that from the primary fermenter to our clean, sanitized secondary fermentation vessel. Okay, we are starting to look like almost a finished beer. So our gravity is down close to 1.005, which is about done for a beer. And it's actually starting to look and smell and taste like a beer.